Good morning, everyone. It's Friday, December 1st, start of the new month. Decided last second to do a quick free preview for our Twitter audience because this show is probably going to be a little shorter than usual because I am feeling so under the weather, but we'll see. This is the show where we look at catalysts in the morning and then analyze those catalysts holistically. What's the impact of the catalyst on fundamentals? What's the impact of the catalyst on sentiment? And then we'll triangulate that with technicals and find a focus list on the morning. That's story trading style. Our belief is that markets are efficient, and therefore you'll get a delta in price when you have a delta of information. We're looking for those rapid re-ratings when catalyst hits. So let's get straight to it. First, a quick look at the macro situation. TLT, always the top of the list, pre-market up there, up 0.2%. So that's good, and that's obviously good for ARK. We see that up 0.9%. But I will say that we've been on quite a run. Let me go to the weekly chart here, actually specifically ARK. And you see that red candle? That's the first red candle after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green candles. So from a longer term perspective, again, I've been saying as long as that TLT is in good shape with the rates, and then RK, you can hold that 20 DMA and you're still bullish. All right. The problem is if you're like day trading or swing trading, high risk, short term kind of stuff, RK can pull back to the 20 DMA, even if TLT doesn't drop, just as a pullback, right? You can pull back to the 20 DMA right there, which is rising, and still be really, really bullish. I will say, though, that 20 DMA is rising, and there's a lot of support, candle support around $45 or so. If you see that area from September timeframe. So that's the look at the macro. Nothing too shocking to worry about, except the possible, like I said, correction. So there's a few sectors I want to look at today. Obviously, we're going to get into the Tesla event. We're going to get into the SMSI offering. But I want to talk about the Israel war. Israel war is back on. So we have our lists of stocks in the Israel space. And top that always comes to mind for me are gold, Bitcoin, and oil. They've proven to be reacting very strongly to geopolitical tension, especially when it's a Friday before a long weekend, right? We'll see how things play out today, right? This is important because we've seen this happen many times on Friday afternoons before a weekend since the war started on October 7th. There are efforts to get the ceasefire back on. You have to pay the whole thing about what's going on in Israel and Gaza is we have to look at the potential of regional escalation. Okay, that's what matters. All right. Of course, we may all have our personal worries and stuff about Israel and Gaza specifically, but in terms of the U.S. economy, right, what matters is regional escalation that can increase oil prices. And so things that have been reacting well to that on Friday afternoons, again, is gold, Bitcoin, and oil, and defense stocks, obviously, as well. Okay, so what I want to look for throughout the day is chatter about, are they going to, any kind of chatter of, oh my gosh, Hezbollah may come in, it may go regional, whatever it is. If that picks up, then you can see big moves in gold, Bitcoin, and oil. That aside, gold hit a monthly all-time closing high yesterday. All right, we'll look at the chart in a second. So that's an independent reason for gold to continue running. And then Bitcoin also broke to a new area. Look at that. You see that chart. Higher lows, new high again at 38,859 on Bitcoin. So both of these charts were primed anyway. And now what you have the restart of the war. So it's just, this is what I like with story trading, stacked catalysts, right? When you have not only technicals, but you have a catalyst or sentiment, you have multiple pillars, we call them, stacking on top of each other. It increases your chance of that trade in the near term. Okay, so increases the chance we can see continuation in Bitcoin throughout today, continuation in gold throughout the day, because not only the technicals, but also the catalyst situation. So, all right, we will look more closely at those charts in just a second. Just giving a quick overview first. All right, so that's Bitcoin, gold, oil, definitely at the top of our list in terms of war stocks. Also, the defense stocks, Raytheon, RTX. I still call it Raytheon. Raytheon. I did it again. RTX and Northrop Grumman. I think have the better charts than Lockheed Martin. We'll get to those charts. I promise you. Just want to do this overview. Okay. And then what else do we want to talk about here? SMSI offering. Do we buy the SMSI offering on the dip? Tesla. What's going on with that? And then I have some updates for you on Quick. And we'll look at the charts on Celsius Air, trying to find the bottoms. I will note yesterday there were two big winners in our community. Costco, right? Costco, we noted all the upgrades they had yesterday morning, including the big one from Goldman Sachs. We noted that on our show, live on the show as we open at 9:30. We're like, wow, this could be an opportunity because it's dropping into the open, curiously. It was dropping into the open, so we did flag that as a potential opportunity, and man, did it do great from the open there, like in the low 580s and then close at 592. So if you took that trade, congratulations, good for you. The other one, which ended up working out really good, was PDD, which we just briefly, someone had mentioned it in the chat in relation to why is Baba doing so poorly. We've covered PDD since the earnings, but it triggered for us right after our show ended. I put it in our chat room. I don't know if I can show it, but we have a chat room here. So I got to scroll up. It was like 10:15. It was right after our chat show. I mean, our morning show ended, and we gave you the alert on PDD. All right, it's not even scrolling all the way up. Okay, lots of data in there. But anyway, we gave you that alert on PDD. It triggered early in the morning at like 144.76, I believe it was, something like that was the resistance level. Must have been the high of the previous day is what I flagged, 144.87. So once it broke the high of the previous day, boom, the thing just exploded. All right, and I actually did add on that. After I give the alert, I did actually double my position. In fact, I just rotated some of my Amazon to PDD. That's a long-term position. All right, so now let's try to dig into the charts a little bit. Bitcoin, look, again, I'm just over the 20 DMA. Looks beautiful. I've been saying I think this is going to 48K if we break 38K, and it has materialized much slower than I had thought. So I'm not trading this actively, but I have leaps. I have a nice position in my IRA via BITO ETF. So that's Bitcoin. It might do great today. I've been noticing there's a lot of tailwinds for Bitcoin right now. Some of it which I don't understand. I'm not a Bitcoin aficionado, but I have noticed it's reacting well to geopolitics. It's becoming the new. I have to tell you, like I've never been. I've bought into the Bitcoin so much. I've not, but those of you who follow me, I've been like kind of not into crypto that much until this Israel war, and I started putting myself in this position of like, what if there is World War III? What if there is Armageddon? Right? What's going to be better? Like gold bars, lugging it around everywhere, and how do you transact? Or is Bitcoin going to be better? And I started thinking to myself, man, like I don't even care what the rest of the world says. I'm like, you know what? I'd rather have some Bitcoin, right? And I bet you other people are thinking like that too. So very interesting. Bitcoin is doing well lately, especially since the war. Okay, gold, a monthly candle. Okay, you don't see it on the GLD, I guess. Yes, you do. Closing. It's the all-time monthly closing high, right? All-time monthly closing high. You can see that where the candle closed. I've been saying we've been bullish gold for several weeks, definitely since the war. I think this thing, you see a massive cup and handle. This thing's probably headed over 200. Wow, look at this. Wow, look at that. This is a multi-year cup and handle. This thing's headed over 200. That's all I got to say about that. In fact, I might want to buy some gold leaps a couple years out. All right, something to think about. All right, then we have our favorite. I don't want to say favorite, but if you are going to play the oil today, YPF. I'm not sure if I'm still in it. That's the Argentina oil stock. We'll keep our eye on that. Iron been like incredible. We rode it from 3 to 4 and then 5. Well, I didn't ride it to 5, but I helped you guys ride it to 5. All right. But doing well. One of the best crypto plays out there. We'll briefly look at the crypto list before our show ends. So we'll just keep an eye on those. All right. But the big stories. SMCI does an offering. It was priced this morning at $262. The offering is 2 million shares. Look, they have 53 million shares outstanding, so it's a dilution of about 3.5%. There's no warrants or anything like that. There's a legit company. Now, there's two types of offerings. An offering where You need the money to survive, and an offering where you take that money to grow, right? You want to build out your capital because your revenue is exploding and you got to support that with your factories and everything. This offering is the latter, all right? It's a good offering. It's a positive offering. It's going to support their growth. 260. I bought some last night around 261. It's right there right now. Sad, right? It's sad you got to go through this volatility because it actually is one of my larger positions, SMCI. All right, but I did have room to add a little bit more last night at 261. I can't on the story trading show where I like something long term because of a catalyst, and then it just does great that day. So this might be one of those. So we'll be watching it right as we go after 9:30. This might bounce right off that 262. It's a 261 offering level, and then just explode $10, $15. It's possible that happens. But I'm not like a day trader. All right. I think our show is great for day trading, to be honest with you, with the catalyst. But I'm more of a swing or long-term investor. So I'm picking up extra shares of SMCI on this. Let me zoom into, let's see if we can find some levels that might be interesting to folks here. 2050 DMA, we're below all those. 255, a lot of chop below here. Well, you know what? Where would the resistance be? Let's put it that way. 271, right? It's at 262. I'd see how, if this is going to do well today, I have a hard time seeing it go over 271. You first have to get over, this is a big area, the pre-market high of 266 or so. If it gets over 266, then you can see a quick run to 271. So I like it long term. I'm adding it. Might be a candidate for overperformance for a day trade today. So take a look at that. Tesla, we played this like a fiddle this week. I got to be honest with you. We slammed this as a top pick Monday morning with a game plan of selling it on Wednesday. Just look at that. That was perfect. All right. And I did get some, I did play. I got most of this move and I did it with options. All right. Then I did step back in, and maybe I shouldn't have because I made a good amount of money. I said, all right, I went in with 20% size right before the event, just in case there was something good. The event came and I sold it. I sold it before the close. All right. This is my personal, okay, look, my personal read could be wrong, but first of all, if you look at the analysts, all right, it's mixed reactions. There are people saying sell, there are people saying buy, there are people saying hold. Okay, it's all over the place with the analysts. All right, I'll tell you my own personal view. I like my view because I'm like average Joe, right? I'm not like a Tesla aficionado, right? And I think the average Joe sentiment, right? If you can gauge what is the sentiment of average Joe, that's really powerful in predicting immediate price reactions. I'm looking at this as average Joe saying, this truck is fucking ugly. Excuse my language. Okay. Like, what the hell is the hype around this, like, really ugly truck? And I'm like, all right, the market expectations must be low around this really ugly truck. So they got to wow me at this event, right? They got to wow average Joe to say, well, what's the reason? Give me what is it? Like amazing new technology that's going to overcome this ugly, weird look? Is it the interior is so beautiful that it's going to overcome this ugly look? Is it that they have lots of sales already lined up and they're going to announce 1 million sales, or they're going to announce like, hey, production is off the roof or whatever. We're going to deliver X amount by the end of the month. What is it going to be that's going to prove people wrong that it's an ugly look, but hey, no one cares, right? So none of that really happened. None of that happened. And I think the event itself was a little bit underwhelming in terms of, it was cool, the race with the tractor and all that. But in terms of like detail, like they didn't show I didn't see the interior at all, right? I don't know. I thought it was underwhelming. So average Joe here, I sold my 20% position, right? Made good money from like 235 to 250. But then took a small loss right before the close. And if you see, this thing is diving. So we have support at 235. It's below 235. If you remember, I hated this earnings. I sold and I avoided this gap. I sold right after the earnings report came out entirely, everything. My mistake was not buying back, right? So I never bought back. I had a massive position. I didn't like the earnings, and I've just been mostly avoiding it, except for this run up that we just did for the event. So I have now just a small position left, much smaller than I had before the earnings report. We'll see what happens, but I think there's a possibility we head over to the 20 DMA. We're already almost there. 20, 30, 60. Maybe we even make it to 200, 223.91. So I'm not really bullish on this. The money to be made was like, I think what we did. Buy Monday morning, sell the event, anticipation, and then post-event, I think I had the right read on it. Get out as quickly as possible, I think, was underwhelming. Okay. SMCI, Tesla. I have an update for Young Quick. So Quick was on a show yesterday morning. I thought it was going to do well. I have some of this long term. Well, I've done great on this. We've done great on it. If you've been following me on the show, look at this thing's been exploding. And I've been selling on the way up, booking lots of profits. But I added a little more yesterday morning, thinking on that news, we can have a move up. And I ended up having to take a quick loss on those extra shares I bought. Now here at the 20 DMA, I think it could be a buy. It's 1067 to 20 DMA. I don't know if you get there. I found out why it went down. Stock was down 15% because there was a good amount of insider selling yesterday. It was over 10% of the volume yesterday. The insider selling by all the top executives was specifically for covering taxes for RSUs that vested earlier this week. They vested November 28th, so they had to sell a certain amount of shares to cover their tax obligation. So that's why the stock was down. It's not like, oh, that news was bad. The news was good, right? They have a new contract with a leading semiconductor company. So Quick at the 20. And by the way, someone realized this in after hours last night. They must have called the company or something because the filing. Oh no, I got to sneeze and I don't. Hold on. I'll try not to sneeze. Oh, okay. So I don't have tissues here, guys. All right. Anyway, what was I going to say? $11.20 bid came in after hours, quite large. It's at 3,000 left, but he's been buying all night last night and all morning this morning in some nice size. Several thousand, 4, 5, 5, so maybe like 10,000 share bid at 11.20, well above the close. This person must have heard because the Form 4 didn't come out till like after 8 p.m. or something. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it came out at 4 p.m. Maybe it did. Okay, but in any case, this is what's happening. People are like, okay, it's not anything sinister. They just had to sell to raise money, and this is a buy long term. We really like it. I really like it. All right, we've been riding it since like $6 or $7, and it's doubled since then. All right, that's Quick. Opportunity on the pullback. Now we're trying to find the bottoms in Celsius and Air. We talked about Costco and Pinduoduo. Okay. So Celsius, we gave very specific levels to our room yesterday. It's near support levels. There are 3 support levels in here. All right. Basically, we're talking about the earnings gap here. So the close of that day was 47.79. The high was 48.86. All right. So 47.79, 48.86. And then you have the 200 DMA. Come on. 200 DMA at 46.46. All right, so we are now in that support range. Well, actually, look at that. So this is what we did. It was in our VIP chat. We were talking about this as in real time it was happening. As it dipped to the high, the 48.86 area. All right, I picked some up. I even picked up some April call options. I picked up some April call options on that, and it's already bounced above. So I don't know. Is that the bottom 48.86 or is it going to be 46.46 at the 200 DMA, which is rising? I don't know exactly where it's going to be. All I can tell you is the risk reward is much better in this range, in this 46 to 48 range. It's a beautiful risk reward. Okay. And I'm interested in picking some up. Did we catch a bottom yesterday? Maybe. But if I'm leaving room, I didn't go all in. If this moves to that 200 DMA, I'll pick up some more. And I feel good about playing this with options several months out. Okay, so that's Celsius. Same thing with Air. Ooh, I got to follow up with the Air CEO because I invited him for an interview. Let's see if they responded. All right, so we'll do this right now. All right, so I'm just following up with the CEO of Air. We'll get into the chart in just a second, and we're going to follow up with the CEO of where is it, man? Dario? I'll have to do that later. Can't find it. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So I'm looking for the bottom in Air. And we gave you the thesis yesterday, and I'm sticking with it. I feel that Air should be following the on-semi chart. It's 2 days behind right now. A little bit concerning. I thought it would catch up much quicker. That's why I want to interview the CEO, make sure I'm not missing anything. But I did start picking some Air up, additional Air. I'm expecting this. Maybe it needs a catalyst, okay? But still, it's a little unusual. So that's so we'll yesterday of why this has been following on semi tick for tick. The last 2 days, it hasn't followed it. A little bit unusual. What I've noticed is when you see things that are a little bit of unusual with air, it usually corrects itself very quickly. All right. That's been my experience. So we'll see. Air is going to be top of our list today and every day for the next few days to see if it can catch up with on semi. Okay. It's 9:22 right now. Just give me a minute. I want to get this out of the way. Okay, the other thing I want to mention is it's December. We're heading into that season, which is very attractive for microcaps that have been beaten up. Market's been rallying, particularly RK and well, IWM has also been rallying. Great. Okay, there are certain microcaps, and I'll just give you one example that have not been participating in this rally. Okay. This is probably due to tax loss selling. I'm going to give everyone some homework here. Make a list of your favorite microcaps that have not been participating in this rally that keep going down. Okay. And then we'll look at those stocks. We'll look at the fundamentals. We'll look at everything and prepare to buy the top of those stocks, the best of those stocks. Prepare to buy them in the third week of December. This happens almost every single year. Doesn't happen every year. Almost every, I would say just 70 to 90% of the time, right? You get incredible buying opportunities. Oh boy, in the third week of December and through January. Like you could see 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% gains in some of these stocks. So that's your homework. We got 2 weeks to figure it out. And man, I got to go soon because I need a tissue. All right. So normally what we do is we stay on after 9:30 a.m. to watch the price action. All right, to see which ones are going to do. Sorry, do the best for the day. We basically set a focus list. I'll do that now. We set like a top 5 focus list, and then we'll have like another 5 below that we're watching, right? And then we'll watch the price action in the first, like between 9:30 and 10:15 a.m. Sometimes we make a change, right? In terms of what's the focus for the day, right? So for today, let's see. Top 5 focuses. I got to put SMCI up there at 262. Definitely. That might be the number 1 focus. All right. Oh, I forgot to talk about Pfizer and shorting Pfizer. That's okay. It's already down so much. I don't want to. Pfizer has terrible news. Oh my gosh. If you want to short Pfizer, take a look at it. That's a possibility. In fact, you know what? Let's throw it up there as a possible short. All right. I don't like shorting. I'm going to keep it like number 5 on the list. Okay. So SMCI, Pfizer had bad news. They canceled a weight loss program. They're also being sued by Texas on their COVID stuff. Anyway, SMCI right now, top of the list. Okay. What else do we want to put near the top of the list? Oh, Quick rebound. I'm going to put Quick up there. All right. Get a rebound on Quick because we understood the reason for that sell-off, and we're at the 20 DMA bounce, and we have a big buyer there at 1120. So SMCI, Quick. All right. Top 2 right now. Let's see what else we got going. Man, the iron is so regretful. Oh my gosh. Okay. Whatever. We made good money on it. All right. So SMCI, Quick, and then Celsius and Air. Oh, Costco. Continuation in Costco after those major upgrades. We looked at the chart yesterday. We're looking for some big price targets here on this 604. All right. I got to put Costco up there. I really got to go soon. I'm going to be like dripping soon here on the screen. SMCI, Quick, Costco. All right. Top 3. And then Celsius, Air. All these other ones are going to be watching. I'm going to put Bitcoin and gold in there too. So Bitcoin and gold, please, however you like to play it. So real quick, gold, if you want some leverage, you got JNUG, NUGT, GDXU. Okay. That's and then crypto, our favorite crypto plays, Iron. MicroStrategy. There was some news out of MicroStrategy of additional bit. They bought like $5 billion worth of Bitcoin in total. They bought more Bitcoin. Take a look at that, MicroStrategy. So in fact, I'm going to do this and then, all right, MicroStrategy. We're going to throw this into the top pick list with that news that came out. They have quite a lot of Bitcoin now. So MicroStrategy, move this down with the Bitcoin plays right there. So SMCI on the offering, quick on finding out the reason for the sell-off. It's innocuous, and the 20 DMA. All right, Costco in continuation after all those upgrades yesterday, and that major chart that's breaking out towards 605. Bitcoin on Bitcoin. All right, plus what's happening in Israel. Gold plays and Bitcoin plays. So that's 5, right? MicroStrategy, I'm including that as a Bitcoin. Unfortunately, I don't think I can stay with you. Feeling under the weather here, but if you want to see this show every morning at 9 a.m., you just go to storytrading.com/app. Do that right now, or right after you do your opening trades. Go to storytrading.com/app, install our app, and then you can access our shows. It's a 7-day free trial, and then only $30 a month after that. Man, some of my peers, they charge like hundreds of dollars. All right. So this price, I might have to increase that at some point. So get in at this good rate right now, 7 days free, then only $30 a month after that. Good luck, everyone. I usually stay with you to figure out this price action. In this case, we'll just stay in touch in our chat room, in our story trading app, in the VIP chat room in case there's going to be any changes in our top 5, top 10. Good luck, everyone. Thanks. Have a great day.